Glad you came.
Hello, Sirona. I received your owl. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Did you ever find Lodgok?
I did, thank you. We had a good conversation. He sends you his best.
Glad to hear it. I shan't ask for details of your little chat, and I'll refrain from telling you to be careful yet again. But I hope you will be, whatever your plans.
Of course. Your owl mentioned you're needing my help with something?
I do. I thought you might be just the person to do a favour for my friend Dorothy Sprottle in Upper Hogsfield.
I don't believe I've met Mrs. Sprottle.
She's lovely. Her late husband Aidan was a friend of my father's. In fact, I'd stayed with Dot and Aidan the summers I waited tables here as a student. I've seen her a few times since Aidan passed, but the pub's been so busy lately, I've not been as attentive as I'd have liked. I wonder if you might pop in and see her. She may need some help collecting ingredients for her supply of Wiggenweld potion. And you could retrieve something of mine in the process. A box, full of old letters and such.
I'll try to go and see her when I can.
It would mean the world to me, and to Dorothy. Aidan was bringing the box of letters to me when he was taken ill. Dot can tell you where he might have dropped it. You'll find the hamlet just north of Hogsmeade. Please do give Dot my love.
He'll see it was a mistake, parting ways.
Revelio.
You're worrying far too much. Nobody's looking at you.
Look at that boy.
Why did you buy me a second pair?
Please,
I
come
hate
in.
these
No,
socks.
let me know if you need help finding.
I'd rather...
You're exercising.
Plenty for your perusal today. Take your time.
And you'd said the charm's come out in the wash, but it hasn't.
Someone so dramatic, just like your father. Anyone would think you had an affliction.
Has he been cursed?
Oh, please, can't we take these socks back to Mr. Hill and get me some normal...
If I haven't said it before, it's a pleasure doing business with you.
Until then, you'll learn to be thrifty and behave. You're starting to cause a scene.
Papa, can we really wash charms out of things?
Don't be absurd. That woman will say anything to avoid spending a knut. I suspect you have a sharp eye for fashion. Be sure to stop by whenever you're about.
Revelio. Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade? Confringo. This place has seen better days. Upper Hogsfield. Now where to find Mrs. Sprottle?
Bardo Beaumont should have returned by now. Had by dark wizards he was.
Hello, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aidan used to collect hawk lumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some hawk clumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
Believe it or not, I have some with me.
Oh, thank you. How wonderful. The travelling vendors will be thrilled to replenish their stock of Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aidan died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aidan took ill when he was collecting hawk clumps on his way to see her. He made it home, but I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather hawk clumps and collect the box of letters there.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Oh, goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. Charming, good head on her shoulders, taking care of everyone. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during the year, all buzzing about, practicing charms. Talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden. Learned it all from her muggle parents, if you can believe it.
Thank you, Mrs. Sprottle.
Thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those hawk clumps. I and the vendors I help would greatly appreciate it.
Thought we'd forget about that. I know all your little
This might be the Mrs. Sprottle.
Then you tried to
Descender. Expelliarmus.
Mrs. Sprottle, but I still need to visit the cave to find Sirona's box of letters. Better have a look around, see if I can find that box of letters. That's all the hawk clumps for now. Mrs. Sprottle should be pleased.
Revelio. Depulsor. Confringo. Revelio.
Either I'll have to fight that troll, or avoid it altogether.
Accio. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Glacius. Defender. Depulsor. Descender. Glacius. Incendio. Confringo. Arresto momentum. Expelliarmus. Confringo. Glaciers. Defender. Incendio. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Confringo. Arresto Momentum. Expelliarmus. Glaciers. Defender. Depulso. Defender. Glaciers. Incendio. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Arresto Momentum. Defender. Glaciers. Incendio. Depulso. Incendio. Defender. Glaciers. Expelliarmus. Confringo.
One less foul hulking brute.
Revelio.
This must be Sorona's box of letters. I should take this box of letters to Sorona. She'll be glad. I think that's everything. Sorona will be glad to have this back.
Revelio. Accio. Confringo.
Be it upon your heads when our expectations take flight like feathers.
Sometimes it seems all roads lead to Hogsmeade.
Flipendo. Accio. Revelio.
I saw what you did! Ha! I have no tolerance for thieves! Hand them back!
Hand what back, sir? We've not took a thing.
Hand them back!
There's nothing to give, sir. It was only the one. That's all of them, sir. Honestly, I swear.
How many times are you pair going to keep pilfering my shop?
I swear it was just those ones,
We
sir.
promise, sir. We'd never take more than those.
I tell you this, they'll not appreciate your antics in Azkaban. You just wait till I see your mother.
That was a bit harsh.
Revelio.
Hello, Sirona. I have good news. I was able to provide your friend Mrs. Sprottle with some hawk clumps for her Wiggenweld potion, and I found your box of letters.
Oh, thank you. I knew you were the one to ask.
I wondered about some of the letters in the box.
Of course. It appears most of the letters were from fellow students.
I saw a letter from someone named Mirabelle. Is that Professor Garlic?
It is. Still one of my dearest friends. I know she wouldn't mind you having seen that letter. She and I are of a similar mind, especially when it comes to young people. We believe experience to be an invaluable teacher. To borrow a phrase from Mirabelle, it's a joy to see anyone blossom, but particularly one who doubted they ever would.
One of the letters mentions Quidditch practice. Did you play?
I did. Was the Ravenclaw Seeker for 3 years. Oh, Merlin's beard. I adore Quidditch. Nothing like the feeling of catching the golden snitch when your team's down by 140 points. I'll never forgive Professor Black for cancelling it this year. I missed cheering for Ravenclaw.
I spotted a letter from you to Mrs. Sprottle. You two seem to have a lot of fun together.
We do. She taught me so much during my summers with her and Aiden. I shall be the first to admit that adolescents aren't always the easiest to understand. And not everyone was as kind to me as the Sprottles. But the depth of their kindness, and that of so many of my friends, got me through some challenging times, to put it mildly.
I'm glad I could be of help. Mrs. Sprottle sends her best.
Don't know what I'd have done without her and Aiden. Thank you, again, for helping her, and for returning this box of letters. It's nice to reflect on good memories.